Look like WNBA owners could be forcing Adam Silver to dismantle the WNBA.
Maybe the end of the WNBA. The players will move.
Yep.
There's not going to be a fixed number. It doesn't make sense to me for the WNBA to demand that, for the players to demand that right now. I understand. The biggest thing they did wrong, they said this is their moment. And so they've put a lot of pressure on themselves to make huge changes in the collective bargaining agreement because this is their moment.
The WNBA could be gone within 6 months, and it has nothing to do with a lack of cash. The real danger is that the players themselves may be tearing the league apart from the inside. While you're watching this, team owners are quietly debating a scenario no one wants to acknowledge: completely dismantling the league. And Adam Silver is stuck at the center of what may be the most chaotic moment in women's basketball history. Here's what's really unfolding behind closed doors. Owners recently presented the players with a proposal that would have multiplied salaries across the board, maximum contracts reaching 7 figures, average pay jumping to around $417,000, up from roughly $200,000. And how did the players respond? They voted to strike. 98% rejected the deal.
Think about that.
But here's the shocking part. The owners aren't just bargaining anymore. They're crunching numbers. They're seriously analyzing what happens if they shut everything down. According to NBA insiders who know how these negotiations work, that nuclear option is very much being considered.
Every player is a free agent. All of them want money and need money. If you have a well-capitalized and well-funded business, the way Project B may be, that could be the end of the WNBA. What I'm telling you is that if the players get too greedy, it will be the end of the WNBA. That's not the end of the world for them because they have options.
Let's break down exactly what was turned down. A $1 million maximum salary. Average contracts of about $417,000 plus roughly $200,000 in performance bonuses, with revenue sharing included. In some cases, a supermax could have reached $1.2 million. For perspective, today's max barely clears $200,000. This wasn't a minor raise. It was life-changing money for women's basketball. And the players still said no.
Why?
Because they want what the NBA has. They want a guaranteed slice of league revenue, 50% or more. Sounds reasonable on the surface, right? It isn't. Not even close. And this is why owners are running out of patience. The WNBA has lost money for decades, hundreds of millions, not just a few bad seasons. NBA owners have propped it up for 27 years, viewing it as a long-term investment in women's sports. But investments eventually need returns. Right now, the league is only celebrating breaking even for the first time ever. The NBA pulls in over $10 billion annually. The WNBA is just trying to stop the bleeding. You can't split revenue that doesn't exist, and you can't demand half of a negative balance. That's not how business functions. Now add in reports that Commissioner Kathy Engelbert could be pushed out as part of the CBA talks. Players allegedly want her gone, and owners aren't thrilled either. Everyone wants a scapegoat. But changing commissioners won't magically fix ratings or make casual fans tune into regular season games. Here's the uncomfortable truth. When Caitlin Clark plays, viewership explodes. When she doesn't, it collapses. That isn't bias, it's data. The league's financial engine depends on a small group of stars, the same players who may end up pricing themselves out of a viable league. And here's where things get even more complicated. There are quiet rumors about a Project B, a new women's league backed by serious money, ready to launch. Every WNBA player is effectively a free agent during these talks. No contracts, no loyalty clauses, just opportunity. That's why Adam Silver is paying close attention, even while claiming he's not directly involved. Owners are weighing whether it's cheaper to fold the league and rebuild from scratch than to accept demands that don't add up. Players believe this is their moment, riding the buzz from Caitlin Clark's rookie season and Paige Bueckers entering the spotlight. Strike while attention is high. But attention isn't the same as profit. Yes, ratings are up. Yes, attendance is improving. But profitability still lags far behind. Owners are even willing to negotiate housing, benefits, and retirement plans. What they won't do is lock themselves into fixed revenue sharing while buried in debt. That isn't greed, it's survival. The players' union overplayed its hand by framing this as an all-or-nothing moment. Now, anything short of a massive victory looks like defeat. Real progress comes through steady gains over multiple negotiations, not by forcing a showdown before the money truly arrives. You don't put everything on one card and hope it works out. That's exactly what analysts close to these negotiations are warning about right now. If the players refuse to move off their fixed revenue percentage demand, the WNBA could genuinely shut down, not as a threat, but as a calculated business decision. Because eventually, even wealthy owners get tired of burning cash. And for its entire lifespan, that's essentially what the WNBA has been, a financial fire pit funded by NBA ownership because they believed in the mission. But belief isn't infinite, and that patience is being tested. When owners have collectively lost hundreds of millions and players are asking for more while the league still isn't consistently profitable, something has to break. Yes, there are expansion fees coming in. Yes, there are television deals. But those broadcast agreements are bundled with NBA rights. If the WNBA turns into more liability than asset, there is a clean exit. Here's the uncomfortable truth. This isn't about fairness or slogans like equal pay for equal work. This is about forcing an economic model that hasn't matured yet through labor pressure. The players want to be compensated as if the product is fully established when it's still in a growth stage. That's the disconnect. And here's the part nobody's talking about. A small group of players reportedly didn't vote for the strike, about 3%. Now people are speculating it could be Caitlin Clark. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But the idea that the league's biggest draw might be urging caution should tell everyone something. Housing demands are another piece of this puzzle. Owners can calculate those costs precisely, team by team, dollar by dollar. They're open to negotiating benefits. That's standard bargaining. But when one side refuses to compromise on the core issue, everything else stalls. You can't finalize housing agreements when you haven't decided whether the league itself survives. So, here's the scenario few are ready to face. What if the owners call the bluff? What if they say go ahead and strike, and that's the end? Expansion fees get refunded, operations shut down, and suddenly every WNBA player is unemployed, scrambling for overseas contracts that already pay more, but with no American league to return to. No off-season anchor. No domestic platform. The debt problem isn't hypothetical. After nearly 3 decades of losses, you don't jump straight to profit sharing because of one strong year. Recovery takes time, multiple profitable seasons. The players want to skip that phase and go straight to the payoff. Owners are saying that's not how debt gets erased. And let's be honest about revenue comparisons. NBA players are paid because they generate massive income. LeBron James sells out arenas, moves merchandise, and dominates primetime television. Most WNBA players don't generate that level of demand, and that's not an insult, it's reality. Compensation follows value creation. The real tragedy is this: the league was actually growing. Real growth. Fans in seats, eyes on screens, momentum building. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. The Las Vegas Aces dynasty. All of it was finally starting to click. The storylines that captured fans' attention are now at risk of disappearing because both sides are locked in a high-stakes game of chicken over the league's survival. Consider the timing. Women's sports are enjoying unprecedented visibility. March Madness ratings for women's games rival the men's. The WNBA draft drew massive audiences. Endorsements are pouring in. And yet, players chose this exact moment to potentially upend it all. That could be seen as either fearless or reckless. History will be the judge. Owners have leverage few are acknowledging. They can survive without the WNBA. For most, it's a side venture. Their NBA franchises are worth billions. WNBA teams are investments, not their core business. The players, however, rely on the league as their main basketball income in the US. Who truly has more at stake? Right now, both sides are waiting for the other to blink. Players assume owners won't dare dissolve a league riding this wave of positive attention. Owners assume players won't walk away from offers far better than current contracts. Eventually, someone will miscalculate, and the fallout will be dramatic. Here's how it could unfold. Players could accept a slightly revised deal and call it a win. Owners could lock them out, causing a missed-season. Or the league could shut down entirely, leaving a blank slate for anyone bold enough to start anew. Those are the only real outcomes. The tragedy is that women's basketball doesn't need this chaos. The on-court product is exceptional. Talent is off the charts. Games are competitive. Everything was trending upward until contract negotiations became a national spectacle. Now, casual fans see dollar signs and disputes instead of highlights and championships. Why should non-WNBA viewers care? Because this is a cautionary tale in negotiation. Having leverage, momentum, and public support is meaningless if you overplay your hand. Commissioner Adam Silver is caught in an impossible position. He didn't ask for this. He inherited the WNBA alongside the NBA role. Now he's mediating between players demanding NBA-level pay and owners tired of subsidizing losses. Where does it end? Nobody knows. Deadlines keep slipping 30 days, then 40, then 70 more. All it does is postpone the inevitable. Eventually, someone will issue a final offer. Take it or leave it. That's when the real stakes become clear. If you're a women's basketball fan, it's nerve-wracking. This isn't posturing anymore. Debt is real. Losses are real. And the gap between what players want and what owners can afford is painfully real. Something has to give. The players are counting on public opinion to pressure the owners into giving in, but applause and headlines don't pay the bills. Ticket sales, merchandise, and TV deals do, and none of those revenue streams are anywhere near NBA levels yet. Maybe they will be one day, but that day isn't today. Here's the bottom line. If the WNBA collapses because players demanded too much too quickly, the responsibility falls squarely on their shoulders. If the owners shut it down instead of accepting a deal that could sustain the league long-term, it exposes that they never truly believed in it. Either way, women's basketball suffers, and that's the real tragedy. This is the defining moment for the league's future. Not Caitlin Clark's rookie season, not attendance records. These negotiations right here will decide everything. And at the moment, the outlook is grim. The real question isn't who will blink first, it's whether the league will even be standing when that happens.